These have been the scenes in Jerusalem for the past few days. Anger is mounting as Palestinians in Sheikh Jarrah await eviction orders from their homes claimed by Israeli settlers.
والقانون بيقول القانون الدولي ما بصير دولة الاحتلال تطلع سكن البلد وتحط واحد يهودي محله. هيك القانون بيقول، لكن ما فيش حد يوقف قدام الإسرائيليين لأنه كل العالم داعمه.
Imagine having to leave your house and then give it to someone else without any compensation. This is exactly what's happening in the occupied East Jerusalem neighborhood of Sheikh Jarrah. After Israeli courts ruled that Palestinians have to leave their houses, Palestinian residents here live with the fear that the Israeli army could come at any moment and evict them. The neighborhood looks calm to you now, right? But that will change when the night falls.
An Israeli district court approved a decision to evict 6 Palestinian families from their homes in Sheikh Jarrah in May. It was followed by another eviction order of 7 Palestinian families in the same neighborhood. Since 1956, 37 families have been living in 27 homes in this neighborhood. They are the families that were forcibly expelled from Jaffa and Haifa during the 1948 war and were placed in the neighborhood by the UN's refugee agency UNHCR under agreement with the Jordanian government. Even though Palestinian residents have lived in these houses for over 60 years, illegal Israeli settlers can put a claim on the properties on the basis of a law approved by the Knesset in 1970. Israeli settlers claiming Palestinian properties in Sheikh Jarrah present documents to Israeli court alleging that they purchased the land from 2 Jewish associations at the end of the 19th century. And with a court order, settlers can take over Palestinian properties and evict the families. This is exactly what happened to Nabil al-Kurt's house.
قاضية بتقول قلبتوني مش عارفة شو بدي أسوي، بدي أطردكم من البيت وقطتنا 2-5 عشان تطلعنا من البيت.
An Israeli court said it will give a final verdict on the eviction order on May 10th, and Palestinians are fearing the ruling.
لأنه القاضية طرحت علينا إنه إحنا نكون مستأجرين محميين والأرض لليهود. إحنا كسكان رفضنا هذا الحكي. إذا إحنا اعترفنا بدفع الفلوس معناته إحنا أعطيناهم الملكية وإحنا مش من حقنا نعطي الملكية. ولكن إحنا هلا لغاية الآن إحنا لحالنا. بدنا دعم من العالم العربي والإسلامي وبدنا دعم من الحكومة الأردنية والسلطة الفلسطينية ومن تركيا.
Half of Nabil's house is already taken by the settlers. He literally lives side by side with an enemy that is about to take the rest of his house.
هذه كلها أخذها مني. أنا ما نمت فيه ولا ليلة. 9 سنوات مسكر ودفعت 97,500 شيكل غرامات وما خلوني أهد وحطوا لي زعران.
Nabil and the other 13 families under the threat of eviction have not been abandoned by Palestinians living in occupied East Jerusalem. Nightly protests have been taking place in Sheikh Jarrah. Palestinians have been here to show solidarity with the families who are under the threat of eviction. But Israeli police use harsh tactics to disperse them. Around 20 people were arrested and many injured. Israeli police made some arrests using disproportionate force, reminiscent of the killing of George Floyd in the US by a police officer. Israeli politicians were also present during the protests to protect settlers. Israeli right-wing anti-Arab Kahanis Itamar Ben-Gvir, along with the leader of a far-right organization, Benzi Gopstein, whose group chanted "Death to Arabs" slogans in the previous weeks, were there. While the Israeli politician received full protection, the Palestinian protesters were under attack.
There are 3 stages of Israeli police intervening. One of them is, as you can see, this Israeli police. And then these horse units that I can refer to horse units, they are intervening and they are dispersing the crowd. And then now there is a pressurized water. This is very, very dangerous. And I think it's on the way now.
Israeli police use its water tanks in a very narrow neighborhood. But it's not the pressurized water that makes you afraid, like going back home with a very bad smell on you.
It smells so bad. Now, as you can see, Israeli police using pressurized water. And inside of this pressurized water, there is a special chemical, and reportedly it was invented by Israeli firm. and it's called skunk water. It's so hard to describe the smell. They believe that it is very effective to disperse the crowd.
Israeli police also use their elite secret force to infiltrate the protest and arrest Palestinians. They are known as mustaribin. While Palestinians in occupied East Jerusalem face police brutality to show solidarity with families under the threat of eviction, Nabil feels left out. He's disappointed in the growing support for Israel in the region.
ابن زايد رفيقهم سوى اتفاقية معهم، والشهر الماضي ولا اللي قبله بعت لهم 10 مليار دولار مشان يسوي استثمار بإسرائيل بدولة الكيان، بدل ما يبني فيها مدارس، جوامع، مستشفيات للعالم العربي، أعطاها لإسرائيل. إحنا العدو، صرنا إحنا العدو مش هو، مش إسرائيل العدو. تعب وبعدين لأنه فيش عرب.